Welcome to How Preschool Teachers Do It.
This is Alison Kentos. I am an early childhood educator.
And this is Cindy Tarabush. I am an early childhood consultant.
This podcast is for parents and early childhood professionals.
Let our experience and research-based knowledge become your guide. Happy Monday, preschool peeps.
Hi, peeps.
Have we got information for you?
Yes, we do.
I was reading a textbook. I know how that sounds. As it came out of my mouth, I'm like, wait. So I was reading a textbook because it's for a class that I'm teaching.
Yeah, and she just doesn't do that just for fun, guys.
I mean, it's okay. But it's the name, I want to give them credit. The name of the textbook is Pathways to Teaching Young Children. It's written by Linda Estes and Suzanne Crow, who I'm sure I'm mispronouncing your last name, and I'm sorry if I did, if you are people who know our podcast.
Yeah.
But again, the title is Pathways to Teaching Young Children. And, I'm reading this textbook, and a lot of times when I have to go over textbooks that are being recommended for classes, I'm sort of like, oh yeah. And then I came across this information and went, this table is awesome. So I shared it with Allison.
Yep. Who had the same reaction.
Right? I was like, wow.
Yeah, this is great.
You never know what you're going to come across in scholarly work. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Right.
And what this table is about, it's about the three types of learners that we know exist. That this isn't news. It isn't news that some people are visual learners and some people are auditory learners and some people are kinesthetic learners. It isn't news that visual learners, and by the way, I'm a visual learner, need to see things in order to learn. I'm led by seeing. Auditory learners are led by hearing. They learn best by hearing what you have to say, and we do a lot of auditory in early childhood. And kinesthetic learners are those children who need to move or touch things in order to learn. Again, that's not news. We've known this.
No, we know that. Yeah.
This table had deeper ways to identify which type of learner people are. And I said to Allison, this is going to be so impactful, I think, for people who listen to the podcast. I've shared it with her. We're going to discuss it. And I think that you also will be like, wow, I never thought about that.
Yeah. Because that's how I reacted when I saw this chart that I knew. I mean, like Cindy said, we know these different types of learners, but the way this chart describes how to distinguish each one, that's what amazed me. I was like, oh my God, I never thought that
cool.
was showing it, like it was really cool.
I think that's enough of a lead up. Let's start talking about it.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to start, Allison. I'm actually going to start with the part that you and I were like, I never thought about this. The first thing that caught our eyes, and that's this. It's the phrases that the three different types of learners will use when they're talking to you. So
that did amaze me. Yeah.
That's amazing. It makes total sense, but I never thought about it.
It does, but never connected it for me.
Right.
The
table says visual learners use phrases that include terms like, look at this. Did you see that? Watch me.
Yeah.
Does not make sense because they want you to look at something. They want to know if you saw something. They want you to watch them or something else because they take things in visually. So pretty much we think people take things in the way that we do.
Right. And they're kids, so they think everything is the same for everyone. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, adults do this too. When I thought about it, I told you I'm a visual learner. There are so many times when my husband and I will be watching television and I say to him, did you see that? As opposed to what an auditory learner would say, which are phrases like, listen to this, guess what I heard. It sounded like, did you hear that? So we're watching TV and I don't say to my husband, did you hear that? I say to my husband, did you see that? And when I realized, it was such an aha moment for me.
Yeah.
Because my husband is more of an auditory learner. So when we're watching television, he will say to me, oh, did you hear what he said? And if I'm in another room, I come in the room and I want to rewind to watch the person say it.
So
So
see, that's so interesting, isn't it?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. And I thank you all for joining me on my personal aha moments. But maybe this is,
But
maybe
I feel
this
like
is starting them in you too.
Well, yeah, but I feel like then, you'll start recognizing in yourself, because I think I always knew I was a visual kind of learner, but I also have a little tinge of this kinesthetic.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Kinesthetic learners will use phrases that include touch details or tactile details and motions. They'll say things like, "Can I hold it?"
Yeah.
Or they'll say it was moving like this, or it felt like this.
Yeah.
So
these are the ones that like the sense, they need the sensory. So it's like, let me feel that. And that's how they're taking all the information in. I have a little bit of that hands-on kind of thing.
Maybe have a little bit of each, but I'm definitely more visual.
I think I'm definitely more visual. Definitely the least auditory.
Imagine,
but yeah.
Really. Imagine this situation, like you're outside with an early childhood class and you see a worm. The visual learner will say, "Look at this."
Yeah.
The auditory learner will say something about, listen, to see if it makes sounds.
See if it makes sounds.
And the kinesthetic learner will say to you, "Can I touch it?"
Yeah. Can I hold it? Yeah.
Right? So even when we're not sure, by really watching children learn, the things they say to us about what they encounter can help to steer us about how to work with these children. There's more information on this chart too. Again, I find equally fascinating. Things like visual learners often have a well-developed sense of spatial activity. That's where I fall off the chart. I have no...
That's only because you're not good at math, and that's kind of a mathematical thing. But
I think this is where maybe I cross over with auditory myself, because it says that auditory learners have a well-developed vocabulary, and I think I have a well-developed vocabulary, but that may come from being more academic. I don't know. And having experienced higher education and graduate school and all that. But I don't know.
It also might,
I think for me,
I think I kind of cross into that only because I do read a lot. So I do have
there you go,
a vocabulary because I read for enjoyment. It's what I like to do to relax. So you learn a lot of words that way,
Right. But spatial is not. I'm the person who's walking around the parking garage for an hour trying to beep the horn and not being able to find the car that I left there 20 minutes ago. So spatial, no. Kinesthetic learners, it says, use gestures to emphasize their thoughts or emotions.
Oh, that sounds like me, but I always just thought it was because I was from Jersey. I didn't think it was like the talking with the hands thing. I just thought
it was cultural too. Maybe it is partially cultural.
But maybe it's not. Maybe it's just who I am.
I don't know. And check this out. People who are on YouTube watching us right now, we're going to get more people on YouTube. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed, because I'm about to read about facial expressions. Okay, so
you'll know exactly the kind of learners we are if you're on YouTube
fans are
when
she
reads this.
If you go there to see my facial expression, do us a favor and subscribe. I think we need only 4 more subscribers to use our own.
Please do. I think we need 4.
Our own URL. So just do that. But here's why you're going to do it. Because visual learners like me reveal their emotions through their facial expressions.
Yeah. If you've seen even, I don't know, the last episode where I couldn't hold stuff, it's all right here. Like sometimes Cindy says stuff and I'm like not speaking, but if you're watching me, you know exactly how I feel about what she just said. I can't help it. I can't hold it in. I cannot stop this.
I've had people say to me, "You actually smirked out loud."
Yeah. Like, okay. No, that's a good description of it. Yeah.
It's smirk out loud. I do think you can see my emotions. That being said, I also have one of those resting faces that puts people off. I recognize
I have that too. And so then I find myself
my face. I'm sorry.
Then I know that's my face, but then sometimes I find myself like smiling to combat that resting face.
Me too, but I smile at weird times.
And then that's weird. It's awkward. Yeah. Which leads to my social awkwardness.
Yeah, I do. I've watched videos of myself doing talks and speeches. Yeah. And I think, wow, I have to smile more. So the next time I do a talk, I try that and I just look ridiculous. So I let it go. Auditory learners, by the way. So that's how visual learners reveal their emotions, through facial expressions. Auditory learners reveal their emotions through sounds or verbalization. These are the kids who moan and groan and out loud. And kinesthetic learners reveal their emotions through their posture and their body language. Fascinating.
That is fascinating, right?
Yeah. What else was on here? Allison, you have a copy of this too. What else was on here?
Oh, I liked the bottom row there where they talk about the talents or the interests that the children most likely will have depending on what their learning style is. So it says like the visual learners will most enjoy drawing, writing, or making designs. And I thought that was like so interesting because it's like, you don't think that your interest is going to be based on like how your brain learns, right? I found it fascinating. And then it says the auditory will enjoy, which this makes sense, talking, asking questions, and discussions. So those are the kids that are really into the discussions that you're having in your classroom. You know,
this is where I cross over again, folks, because as a child, I was always in trouble for talking. I was labeled too chatty. I used to get in trouble for talking in the hallway.
And you grew up to have a whole career about talking.
Again, this is something I'm always pointing out. I probably did it one of the episodes of the podcast too, where I was like, please capitalize on what the children do. It's a gift, it's a talent, it's their leadership. Right. I got in trouble so many times for talking. So this is where I think that we cross over because yes, I do enjoy writing. I don't draw. I can attempt to draw, but it's like a 4-year-old's drawing. But I do enjoy writing, but I also very much enjoy talking, asking questions, and discussion, or I wouldn't have the career that I do. So actually, maybe I'm not as much a visual learner as I think. I think maybe I'm a mix of visual and auditory.
Like I enjoy asking questions. That's the scientist part of me. Like I love asking questions and finding out the answers and researching the answers. Like so, a part of me is the auditory, but I also do enjoy. I wouldn't say it's making designs, but I am pretty crafty. You know, like I do a lot of crafts, I paint, I can do things like that. And I think that's more visual. The kinesthetic learners enjoy dramatizations, role play, and games.
And that's so not me. Oh my God. Nice. You know, when I get invited, it's so fun. When I would get invited to like baby showers and they said, we're going to play a game. I was always like, oh no.
No, seriously, that's me. That's me. At the last baby shower I went to, I refused to play the games and it was some sort of clothespin game. I was like, here you go. I just gave it away right away. I was like, I'm not into this game. I'm not going to do it. I don't care. I'm here for the person and the baby. I am not here to play a game. I don't want to win.
That's when I would head to the buffet table. I was like, oh, I hate
where's the food? Yep.
When there were celebrations having to do with me, my one caveat to people who were organizing that was there no games.
No games.
No games. We're here to socialize and talk, and I can't stand those games, but I fully respect people who like them and they can do them at their events.
But don't expect me to participate in it. Yes.
Yeah. There are very few games that when I'll participate in a game when it impacts kids. Like, for example, they'll play these games at bar mitzvahs where the adults, kids have to run out to the crowd and get things from your purse. Like, do you have a $5 bill? And you wave it in the air for some kid to grab it and run back to the dance floor. Those sorts of games I'll play because the children love it. But adults, a bunch of adults, I did enjoy the one escape room I went to. But
but see, for me, that was more like investigating, which goes to my asking questions. Yeah. Correct. And I do enjoy a good like game night amongst friends where you're playing board games, or if I can do that, but I don't really care if I win or not. I'm just there for the social.
Oh no, I'm going to win. Oh no, I'm one of those people where if you get me in the game, I want to win. I'm competitive.
Now, I'm a little bit like that with sporting events though. Like I do enjoy watching a really good sporting event, or if I'm at like a barbecue participating in those kind of games, like the horseshoes or the lawn darts or whatever. But if I'm playing those games, I'm going to win. Yeah. So like, I don't know. I think it depends on the situation.
It depends. And maybe that's the same for the people who are listening, but now learning a lot about who we are. I think we've a lot about who we are on this episode.
Yeah, they're writing like, if Allison's ever invited anywhere, do not do a game.
Right? They're like, don't invite Cindy because we're playing it. Also, they're thinking, we didn't need to know you this well. We just want the information. So let's go back to this chart.
Yeah.
Visual learners are observant and notice the visual details. Auditory learners attend to sounds and pick up nuances of sound. Maybe that's why I'm not such a singer. Kinesthetic learners seek opportunities to touch and manipulate objects and move around, where I'm more like, ew, how many people have touched that? And that was before COVID. I was a little germphobic like that before COVID. Yeah.
But yeah.
So I think,
I have a student who if I give him the manipulatives, he can fully understand the math concept. But if he doesn't have that, he can't absorb the information. So I just let him do it, because I make sure he always has that. It varies, but when I read this chart, I was like, oh, now I see even more in him, which is cool. There was something on this chart. Oh, the audit. Yeah, no. There was one thing that it was the one column, the auditory learners learn best when there's music or rhythm or rhymes incorporated into the learning, which I found that really interesting, because also I learned just recently through one of these meditation apps that I do, I watched this whole thing about how if you incorporate learning for any kind of learner and it has music in it, a music or a rhythm or a rhyme, you will remember it better. It improves your memory to have music, but that's any kind of learner. You could be visual, kinesthetic, or auditory. So that I found kind of interesting, but and I'm not one that really sings a lot in my classroom. I'm not a singer. I don't like making the songs. I'll do it, but I'm not happy about it. So then I feel like
I like teaching young children show tunes, but that's an episode for another day.
Oh, I'll do that kind of stuff. I'll play music for them and guess what?
I'll sing the show tunes.
Yeah. Or what movie is this from? Guys, guess. Yeah, I'll do that. But I found that to be interesting. So some kids, I guess, need you to sing the concepts, or maybe even just have music playing in the background so that
maybe,
you know what I mean? Whereas that would distract other people,
whereas a visual learner is more observant and notices those details. So they like to have images. I like to have images. Definitely
I'm an images kind of person,
not music.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not into.
Yeah, no. And kinesthetic remembers more of what they do than what they see or hear. Where I'm much more. I remember things much more through imagery, I think, than what I feel did.
That's where I'm a mix of both. I want to see the image, and I want to be. I want to do it. If it's something that needs to be done, especially if it's something that is a process, if you just show me, I might not remember, but if you show me and then let me do it, then I'll remember it. It's a little bit of both.
Maybe.
But I don't know.
So I want to review this information for the people who got lost in the weeds of our personal lives. Visual learners are observant and notice visual details. They remember best when they're presented with images. They reveal their emotions through facial expressions. Mm-hmm. They use phrases like, look at this, did you see that, and watch me. They have well-developed spatial abilities, except for me. And they enjoy drawing, writing, and making designs. Auditory learners attend to sounds and pick up nuances of sound. They remember best when music, rhythm, or rhyme are incorporated. They reveal their emotions through sounds or verbalization. They use phrases like, listen to this, guess what I heard? It sounded like that. Often they have well-developed vocabularies and they enjoy talking, asking questions, and discussion. And finally, kinesthetic learners want opportunities to touch and manipulate objects. They reveal their emotions through their posture and their body language. They use phrases like, let me hold it. It was moving like this. It felt like that. They often use gestures to emphasize their thoughts or emotions. And they enjoy dramatization, role play, and baby shower games.
Games. That's all.
Games.
All
Sorry,
you baby shower folks.
Traumatized I am by the baby shower games. If you are traumatized by baby shower games, reach out to me. I feel very alone.
Me too. And it also, it makes but it makes sense now, right? That the people who are so into these baby shower games, there's nothing, it's just the way, that's the kind of learner they are. And I'm just not that kind of learner, you know? So like it's deep rooted, I think. It's not just my dislike of it. It's like this deep rooted in my brain not to like that. Yeah. But who knew? I didn't know.
It's so interesting that every way that people express themselves reveals what kind of learner they are.
Right.
Fascinating stuff.
It's fascinating.
And I hope that this helps when you're working with not just children, but also interacting with adults.
Yeah. Yeah.
Teenagers, whoever it is you interact with.
Right.
Really observe them and really listen to what they're saying, because they're revealing themselves to you.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that was enough information for this time. What do you think?
I think so. I think they're good.
Too. I think
they got their fill of us for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, if you really also related to one or more of these learning styles, let us know. We love when people reach out to us and let us know that the podcast has made a difference. And you can reach out to us in our Facebook page. Yes, page. And through our website. And it's all How Preschool Teachers Do It. It's all called that.
Yeah.
Again, if you've now fled the auditory version of this podcast to do the visual version on YouTube to see, do they really emote through their faces? Please be sure to click subscribe for us. We're going to be so psyched when we hit that 100 subscribers.
Yeah, we will be.
Right? I don't know. It's the little things that make us happy on this podcast.
Yeah.
We wish you a whole bunch of hope going forward.
Yeah.
And we'll catch you next time.
Yeah. Bye, peeps.
Bye.